in a world where, communication has become a thing, it's now becoming like you want to start asking questions like, okay, what is it that you say that, triggers one to react negatively or triggers one to react positively? And then when we bring it closer to relationship, perspective, then you're like, okay, what is it that I should say that should, help for free flow of communication? Or what is it that I should say that should obstruct communication between my partner? Hello everybody, welcome to the Lifestyle Show here on What TV. As you may your girl and then the host for the show, EJ, thank you all very much for, the consistency and the follow. In fact, I want to hug you guys right now. You guys are so amazing. All of you that, are so consistent and has been following the Lifestyle Show. Now, if you haven't followed us, please follow the Lifestyle playlist on What TV YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, do share. Thank you all very much for joining us today on this wonderful episode. On today's topic, we'll be looking at communication struggle in relationship, right? And with me in the studio are two lovely people. They've been here before, actually. We have a lady and, of course, we have a gentleman. Both are very beautiful. So we'll begin with introducing. Hello, Ma. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Do you mind introducing yourself again?
Of course, no problem. My name is Christine Dosres.
Okay.
And I am an educator and a psychologist.
All right, ma'am. It's good to have you here today. And then we have Mr. Abraham himself.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Do you mind introducing yourself?
Okay. My name is Abraham Leonard. Yeah, so I'm a teacher.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
It's good to have you here.
Yeah,
now, like I began, explaining, communication is sort of like the base of every relationship. It depends on and of course, when we talk about relationship, I don't want to say it's subjective. There are different forms of relationship. You have the relationship that involves, you and your partners, work relationship, or the relationship. But today we'll be focusing on, dating. You and your partner, relationship as such. So let's bring it home, okay? So we are talking about relationship between you and someone that you intend to want to settle down with, or you'd want to have something serious with, all right? So first of all, let's understand what's the word communication struggle. What do you understand by that, Mr. Abraham?
Okay, before I will start with the explanation, I would like to know what communication is, So communication is just simply the process of, conveying message, ideas, feelings, and emotions to somebody. So when the struggle comes in is where there is difficulty in conveying these things. And, the most important thing about communication is for somebody to understand you after you have conveyed all these information to the person. So when we come to a point where I can be understood and there is a challenge in conveying information, ideas, the way I feel about things, then that actually is a struggle, a communication struggle.
What do you think?
I think he's right. I will just add that the hitches don't just come in just understanding, but sometimes also in the expectation of the feedback that yes we are waiting from the person. Okay. So if you are expecting a certain form of feedback and you're getting something else, or you're expecting a feedback and you don't even get the feedback, is a little bit frustrating.
All right, ma. So why do people sometimes find it easier to talk to friends other than their partner?
Well, I think most people don't know how to befriend their partners.
Okay.
Yeah. Because with friends, we are more free. We feel less judged because these are people that we chose in our life and we've spent time with them. They know us, and it's easier for us to show our weaknesses with our friends.
Okay.
But most of the time in relationships, romantic relationships, people also try to play serious. They try to play serious and perfect, and if they are doing so, it's a little bit difficult for them to just hand over, to just open up to their partner. So I think it's because it's difficult for them to befriend their partners. Most people don't. Yeah.
What do you think?
Okay. The reason why some people like to communicate with their friends more than their partners, you know, so I just noticed that sometimes people don't understand that their partner is a friend.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't notice that like their partner is a friend, and they tend to define whatsoever they have with their partner. Maybe, okay, it is romantic, so anything romantic has to be like this. You know, they give it a definition, or they give it a definition, and they will want to work in that direction, and then everything becomes rigid. So there's no flexibility, and then you just see them, oh, okay, it's all about feeling. Like there's a way I feel, romantic, you understand? Those kind of things. But when it is with your normal friend, oh, I can tell this person anything, and, you know, as there's a kind of vibe I have with this, it's not limited to romance and all those things. You get it? So those things, that's why I think I've been in a situation before. It has happened like that, where my own girlfriend only sees like maybe our relationship as, okay, it has to be things that have to deal with love, all those nice messages. I have to always be stimulating her feelings and all those things. You get it? So she doesn't understand that it's just like we are friends. Do you understand? We can communicate, and anything, like something positive can come out beyond what she's thinking about romance. Yeah,
I think in most cases too, it depends on how the whole thing was being built up. Don't you think?
Yeah.
From the start of how, what kind of person was it built on? Friendship. That's another thing. Yeah. All right. So for question 2, I have a video that I want us to see briefly before I then ask question on. I asked the question 2. Okay, please. So let's watch a video right now.
I saw this quote once that said that manipulation is when they blame you for how you react, but don't take accountability for how they treated you or made you feel. Unfortunately, some people will try to make us the worst person in the story for how we responded to what they did to us or said to us or made us feel like, and then blame us for the actions that they take next, for the steps that they take next, for the things that they do to you next, saying that it's your fault. They quickly become the victim in a problem that they created. They allow themselves to sit there and genuinely believe that you're the problem, and you have to stop responding to people that have this mindset. You have to stop giving them the power to make you feel as if you're the worst person ever because you did what was right for you, because you were justified in the actions you took, because you made sure that you were not allowed to be felt like you don't matter. Unfortunately, there are some people that desire to make you the worst person in the story because it allows them off the hook for the things that they did to you. It's a season of not letting people get away with whatever they want to get away with because they don't deserve that.
All right, so we've seen the video. Now that leads me to question 2. Can manipulation, avoiding accountability, and gaslighting cause communication problems, and why would you say it does? That is, if you say yes or no. Let's begin with you.
Can communication avoid like manipulation?
Can communication, avoidance, accountability, gaslighting, can all this lead to communication problem?
Yes, it can.
Following the video that we've watched so far.
Yes, of course it can. Now, I want to bring it to my own person.
Yes, please.
If you and I, we always, like, when an issue comes up, and then instead of us to reason and then trying to see, okay, let's cross the lines, okay, here, this and that, and then you always want to, play the victim. It was because of you, that's why I did this. You understand? It's because of this thing you said, that's why I did this.
In most cases, we don't even know when we do it.
Well,
continue.
Yeah. So when you are trying to play the victim, and then at the end of the day, I can see that the person wants to manipulate me. And
do you even notice when it's happening? That's the thing. When she's when she's doing that, or when he's doing that, in that particular process or that time, do you notice that she's being manipulated? Okay,
now let me put it this way. I can notice based on how many times have this happened. So, okay, if this is happening most of the time, then the person is a manipulator. Since I know that he or she's a manipulator, then I know that anytime there's a problem, the person will always want to manipulate the whole thing and make me feel like, you're the problem. You are the problem. That alone is communication can never be okay in that kind of setting. Like in that particular way, it can never be okay. Because at the end of the day, you know in your mind, it's ingrained in your mind that, I'm going to be blamed for everything. Do you understand? Even when the person doesn't want to give you a chance, okay, let us look at this. Let us analyze your own actions and mine. What did we do wrong? Whose fault is it? Do you understand? But at the end of the day, you want to blame all your action on somebody else. Like, that's manipulation. It can never, improve relationship. Yeah. So,
Ma, please let me hear from you.
Yeah, I believe that it does. Yes, it can cause problems in relationship when you manipulate and you gaslight when you are communicating, because communication is a two-way business. Okay,
Yeah.
so when somebody's speaking to you in a relationship, when you are talking or you are discussing on a subject, you must be able to allow the other person to also express their mind. So if you are expressing your mind but you don't allow the other person to express their mind, then I don't believe that is communication anymore.
Yeah.
It's more of expression of self, or expression of maybe what you have in your mind. So usually most people, they just they communicate in relationship, and what the person is expecting at the end is that I want to be right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So is there a specific gender that is more into this?
Ladies are into that.
What?
Ladies. There's no two ways
And
about it.
if ladies says male are into this, I think
No. I want individual
Ladies are
perspective.
into
It's
that
okay. It's a
too.
convo we are having. Yeah, he said ladies are into it. What do you think about it?
well, I don't think so. I don't even think that males also are the one that maybe we could compare
you
to
Let me
here.
give you an example.
I believe. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. There's something that maybe I will just say, like, you see, a lady will tell the guy that, the guy will say, like, the guy is complaining about something. And the lady will be like, but now, you understand? I will always react like that if you don't do this. Do you understand?
But you know now, don't you know?
Now you see, now the thing is, I don't even know how to put it.
Right.
Like, you see them, like, at the end of the day, they will want you to, have this thing in your mind that, okay, well, I'm not going to say all ladies. Let me just make it this way. Some ladies, the ones that I've seen, yeah, they are like that. They will always want to blame their actions. Like, they always want to justify their actions on, you are the reason why I did this. Do you understand? So I've seen a lot of ladies who do that.
Ma, do you want to add something to it?
Well, I would say it will more depend on the personality of the person and then the environment the person grew in. So whether it's a lady or a gentleman, it will depend more on that than on anything else, on gender, I mean.
Yes, but some guys still do it anyway, so not to say.
All right, it's fine. So for question 3, we would have to see the second video, okay? All right, so let's watch the second video, please.
People that don't know how to communicate, they think everything is an argument. A lot of that stuff goes back to childhood because you watched your mom, you watched your dad, you watched your caregivers handle situations in certain ways. It went into your subconscious. You grew up, and now you have an environment where you can carry out what you saw your mother do. And so emotional unregulation hinders that adult relationship.
All right, so question 3. How do childhood experience and attachment style influence the way people communicate in relationship? I'll start with you.
Okay, I love that question because I think I just mentioned it. I was talking about environment in the previous question, right? That environment is, yes, where you grow, the environment where you grew up. I mean, and usually, just like the video just portrayed it, the kind of attachment that you've had in your childhood will influence a lot how you behave in your relationship with others. Okay, if for example you've been a child who has not been allowed to maybe express their emotion, or you have not been really heard. Okay, they don't hear you. Maybe they hear your sibling more often. You feel like you have not really been heard, or maybe your parents are just like that. They don't hear their children. So when you grow up, you will not only become that person that think they must not, or they are not usually heard, and you will maybe be reluctant in even expressing your mind. But you will even be that person that will be the image of that your parent that wouldn't allow other people to express themselves.
Wow.
That is the thing that you used to hate. But in psychology, research proved that actually what you hated the most, or what many people hated the most with their parents, is actually what they start manifesting when they grow up as adults. Yes.
Oh, big. Wow. Okay. How about you? What do you have
Well,
to say about this?
all that she said is perfect and correct.
Okay.
Because, you know, there's this saying in the Bible, it says, train up a child in the way he should grow. So you can either train a child consciously, it can be conscious or unconscious. Now, let's say anything, you know, children are in such a way that they observe whatsoever they are seeing. And if I'm wrong,
Right.
I can be wrong and I will win a fight, you know, a debate. Yes, based on the fact that maybe the person does not really have enough facts, you know, to debunk what I'm saying. So when the child sees it that way, oh, then this person is right. He has it in the mind. And then you see, they grow with it. Do you understand? So they grow with it. Now, there is nothing that a person will do on the earth if he, or maybe something that someone knows that he actually learned it from somewhere. Do you get it?
Okay.
Yeah, so now let's say if I am in a family where I come from a family where I always see my dad and my mom, they argue. They argue a lot. And then I did not experience love. Do you understand?
Right.
They say I did not experience love. I grew up in an environment where there is so much argument. Whenever my mom does something small, then my dad have to do this and do that, you know, argue. Yeah, and you see, okay, let me put it this way. You are in an environment where you grew up in an environment where one person is always trying to prove a point. Do you understand? Okay, it could be your dad. He is always trying to prove a point. And then me as a young guy, and I just look at this. Okay, my dad is always trying to prove a point. And if it happens that I am more connected to my dad, you know, children, when they are connected to their mom,
You
they
don't
will
want to
tend
prove.
to...
You want to make them proud.
Yes. They will tend to, you know, agree with their mother than with their dad. So imagine when a child grows like that. Okay, let's say I grew up in an environment where my dad always trying to prove a point, and I like my dad. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So when I grow up, if somebody is not there to mentor me and correct that thing that is taught here, that is programmed here, I will behave like that in my relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that response. So we'll go to question 4.
Yeah.
So how do you think fear of rejection, and judgment prevent the style's influence? How can fear of rejection and judgment prevent partners from expressing their true feelings?
Yeah, fear of rejection and judgment. Like, let's say, for instance, if I'm a person who doesn't want to be judged, you get it?
Why wouldn't you want to be judged?
Yeah, there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people there who, when they've done something bad.
I mean, they are constructive criticisms, right?
Yes. And there are some people that they feel like everything that they are doing, you know, they don't need to be questioned.
Are you that kind of person?
Oh, well, no, I'm not that kind of a person.
Because you're sounding very much defensive about this very particular question. So I want to be sure that I'm dealing with the right person.
Yeah, so that I'm just trying to put it this way. Like, for me, if I always tell...
Are you scared of rejection?
Oh, no.
Are you scared of being judged?
No.
Why?
Because in this life, I know nobody is perfect. So I can do something wrong. And somebody who is observing what I've done, maybe I might not be able to, just like they say, in those who play checkers, it is those who are outside that observe the mistakes that you do.
Okay, now let me ask this question. Was there a time you were scared of rejection and judgment?
Yeah, there was a time.
How did you navigate that period?
Well, at that point in time, one of the things that happened, I knew that, happened at that point in time was that I put myself in the shoes of trying as much as possible to please the person. Do you get it? So that the person will not come to a point where, no. Do you get it? Yeah.
You're not really giving me what I want.
Yeah,
can you help, please? He's just giving me surface response.
As just is saying what he's saying right now, right? Usually when you feel like you are rejected, or you're scared of being rejected.
Over what? Is it over proposal? First of all, let's establish that fact first.
Okay.
Is it proposal or yes? Please continue.
Well,
you
it
didn't give me
depends.
the response.
It might be over proposal, maybe expressing your mind. Maybe there's something the person is doing that you are not liking.
Okay.
But maybe because you feel if I tell him I don't like it,
You're gonna be rejected.
maybe the person will even gaslight you.
Oh.
Or the person will make you feel as if you are exaggerating or something like that. So if the person would do that, if you are attached to that person and you don't want the person to maybe leave you, right? You just be like, oh, let me just shove it off and it's okay. I will not talk about it.
Have you had such experience before?
Well, I would say that before, yes, I've been scared of rejection before.
Oh, why?
And just because maybe I thought I needed to belong. Yes. But then what I learned that changed me was what we call the growth mindset.
Okay.
So it is actually the mindset that helps you to know that you are not perfect. You are not born perfect. You are not meant to be perfect before people, but you can improve. So if you don't make mistakes, you won't know what you have to improve.
Okay, what if you're in a relationship with someone who does not really validate your feeling? So at every single point in time, you want to prove something.
point.
Yeah, but you're never validated, number one. So because you're never validated, there's restrictions to how much you say and how little you expect. Yeah, because you're expecting him to say little things because, of course, you know your feelings are not validated. So what if you're in such scenario?
Well, I believe that's not healthy at all.
Okay.
Yes, because one of the psychological
Are there
needs-
relationships like that?
There are,
Okay.
of course, there are. You see people who really like, they are in relationships where they can't express themselves. It's like you go to somewhere in relationship, you are meant to be there and to contribute, for example. So it's like you get hired for a job, but they don't allow you to put in what you have to give there. Will you feel satisfied? No. It will be the same thing in relationships.
So
too.
how do you know you're in such a relationship?
Well, it's obvious. It's obvious when you don't feel heard, for example. Yes, when you don't feel heard, when you can't express yourself. Sometimes it does not come from the relationship itself. Sometimes it comes from maybe your past experiences. You've been in a relationship where you were not heard before,
Yeah.
so you come here and then you hold yourself back so that you don't offend the person, so that they don't reject you, so that you don't feel too much. Yes, and sometimes it might be just that person themselves. So you can notice it maybe by just observing. Well, how is the person? Is the person inviting you to contribute more when you guys are talking? Do they allow you to talk? Do they allow you to communicate when you are talking? Can they allow you to finish what you are saying?
Or they'll just cut you.
Or they will just, there are some people who can cut you every 2 seconds, you know.
All right. You want to say something?
Yeah, like, based on what she's saying, like, for instance, the last part of her statement that there are some people who don't want to hear you out, like cut you short. It depends. I've noticed this. I know of a guy who is more of like a serious person. He likes you to tell him something that is making sense, something that he can logically reason, that makes sense to him. So when you come with some stuffs, you understand? He will just be like, oh, no, please stop this. You get? So at that point in time, it depends on some particular situations where this person can shut you down. But there are some people who naturally, like, they feel like they're on top. I've heard some people say, in this relationship, the lady doesn't tell me what happens. I am the one that decide what will happen. I make the decisions and the lead, and you are forgetting that this person too is also a human being. Do you get it?
Right.
So there are some people like that, and I've known some few cases where even the lady's ideas, the lady's ability and everything is undermined. You get it? It's undermined. So I think it's something that has to do with the person, like maybe the guy in question, because this one we are talking about the guy himself.
Okay.
So
why might one partner shut down emotionally during conflict, and how does this impact problem solving?
Okay, for me, I think a person might be shut down emotionally. It's maybe when the person have had enough. Like every time, if this continue happening, maybe anytime we want to talk about something, you don't, maybe my partner doesn't have emotional intelligence to know how to handle and manage my emotions. Do you understand?
That's an insult
Is
to
it?
ladies.
To ladies?
That's a very big insult. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Because
you might call it an insult, but the fact is that there are some people who doesn't have emotional intelligence.
No, because the reason I said so is because it's not every lady that has that ability to discern your actual emotion at a specific period of time.
Yes.
And it is not every man that has the also ability to discern what is going on with a lady at a specific point in time. Have you heard of hormonal imbalances?
I've heard of that.
The fact that we experience it, I don't know if you guys too also experience is it possible for guys to experience hormonal imbalance?
Well, I've not heard of that from guys.
So I'm just trying to chip it in. So when you're saying she should have an emotional intelligence, also know that there are ladies that can't really discern that. So continue, please.
Okay. Now, I'm not ruling out the fact that of what you're saying, though.
Yes.
But the truth about the matter is that I believe that when I'm in a relationship with somebody, I am to study the person.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand? Because behavior, like there are patterns, So the person should also study me. Oh, let's say for instance, when I'm very angry, my girlfriend, okay, I'm in a relationship. So when I'm very angry, she knows that at that point in time that I'm angry, what I want to do is tell you my mind, the way I feel about what you have done.
Even though you say it in a very meaningful way.
Now, in that in that particular time,
right,
I expect you to be quiet.
Wow.
That is me. Because one of the things that will trigger me more is I'm trying to talk about what you've done and you are trying to justify, or maybe you're trying to give me some flimsy excuses. I don't like it. So you see, at that point in time, you wouldn't like what will happen. I'm not going to beat you anyway.
Wow.
Maybe
I'm scared.
I'm
sorry. Are you hearing? Hello. Are you hearing this?
No, but I might react in a way.
Right.
One of the things I know is I'm very careful of doing is the choice of words when I'm angry. Okay. Because words are like bullets. Once fired, you can't get them back. True. So at that point in time, you wouldn't want to put me in a situation where I will say things that will hurt you. So just be quiet. That's why when she is angry, the moment I notice that, this lady is angry, what I'll just do is, now, I'll keep quiet. Tell me everything. Tell me how you feel. Do you understand? Then I will apologize. And there's this thing she will always say, I know before anything will happen, you are quick to say sorry. Do you understand? Yeah. So, and I will always tell her that, okay, sorry is not a currency to buy your this thing, but I'm just saying it to calm you down. At the end of the day, you must still communicate what you have in mind.
Okay, Master.
So,
what do you have to say about this?
Well, I would say that yes. When we shut down, or one partner shuts down emotionally, it's going to influence, of course, problem solving, because you cannot communicate when one person has shut down emotionally.
Yeah.
There's something that he's saying. I need you to incorporate everything. That's if you are listening to him, incorporate everything into what. Yes, okay. Because he's speaking
about anger.
Yeah, and he brought everything in, which of course it's more like real life relatable situations, right? There are times when communications break as a result of shutdowns, right? She's sharp. We ladies can be extreme. See, the best time you get the best feel of us or the who we are is when we are angry, or when the heat is high. We are shouting, you're shouting, and we don't really have the energy to fight you. So the weapon of warfare is mass destruction, which is the tongue. Do you understand? Yeah. So in such case, there might be problem. That is, if I'm with someone like you right now, we're definitely going to have issues. That's why I'm saying incorporate everything he has said into it, so we then understand both the psychological effect and the real life effect of it as well.
Okay. He was talking about anger, for example. and he was saying that, okay, maybe if he's hungry, he's expecting you to keep quiet.
Right.
Maybe the lady also, when she's angry, she's expecting you to do that, or she's expecting you to say sorry first, or something like that. But one of the things I will bring in right now that will be both, that will help both psychologically and in real life effect, is that you don't just know that person, what or how they are when they get into a certain maybe emotional level, or maybe they get into a certain emotion, but what you have to do is to work each other on how to get the best way of doing it, because the way the person does it might not be the right way. So if you say, I know you, you know me, so we handle each other, it's good, but is that the right way to do it? We will not be fed up on the way. Yes. So we'll have to work on it. Because we have to go for knowledge. Okay, how can we do it better? Okay, if I'm maybe somebody that gets excessively angry, how can I work on myself to tame my anger? It's very important.
Yeah. Anger management in African countries, I don't think is taken serious, to be sincere with you. That's one thing. And I made 2 points, which is the fact that we ladies, we have, our tongues cannot be controlled. And you, the men, if there's one thing I know as a man, or as men, or like men will always say is, I hate interruptions when I'm angry. It's not just you. I think it's a general thing. When a man is angry, they are, they are fixated on the topic. They just want to make their point. But have you noticed that in most cases you apologize for something that you did not do? Have you noticed it? Except maybe you've not encountered it. But in relationship of these days, we ladies make you apologize for both the one you did and the one you did not do. True or yes? So in that case, what then do you do? Because even though you are right, I'm going to do everything humanly possible to prove you wrong. Because my feelings and my emotion are at stake at that very particular time. Until probably later, I will come back and tell you, okay, I'm sorry, I know I'm wrong. But in the heat of that particular argument, someone has to budge.
Yeah, of
and
course.
it's almost expected that the man budges. But in your case, you're talking, I'm talking. Then who budges? Do you get?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, something might happen. Like you said, it's either you end up hitting her, or you say something to her that would demoralize her immune system, or even her person.
Yeah.
Right? So then what? You're laughing.
No, it's just that I'm imagining a scenario like that, like in real life. But I think one of the things that I'm trying to put in place is maybe when I'm angry and she is also talking back, the only option I have is just to walk away.
Hey, it's not you're giving me point.
It's just to walk away.
It's a regular thing that guys do.
And when I walk away, and then I think at a very particular point in time where everybody is calm, that's where we can understand ourselves.
Yes.
So I will just have to come back. Now let us talk, and then we can be able to digest and solve the problem.
Okay, so finally, before we wrap up, how can partners differentiate between constructive criticism, right, and then destructive communication?
Okay, that's a great question. To wrap up, constructive criticism is when you make criticism to somebody, not in order to make yourself feel good.
Can you use another word instead of criticism, so maybe we'll get a hint?
Okay, is when maybe you point out somebody's mistake, and you point out the person's mistake, and you don't do it expecting the person, or expect just for the aim to feel good, but you do it because you want the person to get better, because you want something better to come out of your relationship or the conversation that you are having right now. Because many people, what is destructive communication? You are talking and you want to be right, and that's what most people do when they are in couple, whether the lady or the man. It all depends. We all do that. All human beings feel or have that need to feel like I'm the one that is right. But if you can be able to control that and to go beyond that and seek the welfare of the other person in your relationship, then you will know what you should say and how you say it. Actually,
if you're in a relationship, are there things that you consciously tell yourself, I will never say to this girl, or I will never say to this man? I'm asking.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
They are, of course.
Okay, so meaning that words go deeper.
Yeah.
Like when you say them, either in the heat, because there are people that actually, there are people that, there are people that get back at you for what you've done.
Yeah.
Let's say you hurt them. I don't know if you've been in a relationship like that. Like she wants to hurt you same measure as you hurt her, right?
Yeah.
So in most cases, they use words.
Yeah.
Like words. So are they words that, are, destructive in a relationship to say to partners?
Yes.
Yeah, please help me out.
Like when you always, let's say for instance, in a relationship, you are always using words that will devalue your partner, like make her not to see a sense of value in herself. You understand? Like you are less of other girls. Like I have better girls coming after me. I'm just managing you. Just something like that. Like when you say something like that to a lady, I think she will not see herself to be. You understand? And at the end of the day, it brings her self-esteem down, and then you will not really get, a very good relationship.
Do you have anything to add to this before we wrap up?
Of course. As a lady, maybe one of those words will be, for example, you will never be responsible,
yeah.
or you will never be, or maybe even you are not the man I expected you to be, for example.
You can't
because man, he likes or he loves respect, right? So when you are saying that, you are literally bringing down his ego and everything. I remember following one lady. She said one thing she said to her husband, because before they got married, her and her husband, they were like, she was financially, she was like well settled compared to her husband. And so she said one day she went to her husband and said, "Is this the kind of life you promised me?"
Wow.
And she said in her closet, God rebuked her, and she said she will never say that to her husband, never again. And today the husband is somewhere she cannot even think of being in the next few years, if I would say just from a human standpoint, human perspective. So yes, I would just say that men, they like respect. So when ladies, us as ladies, we are talking to them, we just have to know those things that will bring down maybe their self-esteem and not point them out. Yeah.
Okay. So we have actually come to the end of today's show. But then let's hit the topic on the head, or let's hit the nail on the head. What are some of the reasons for communication struggle in relationships? Do you want to help?
Okay. One reason I will talk about is some unrealistic expectations.
Okay.
Yes, in a relationship. So let's say, it's one of the things I noticed. Now, if you are setting, like, let's say, a goal in a relationship, and then let's say you have to know the person's ability, your partner's ability to be able to meet with that goal that you are setting for your relationship. Now, let's say, for instance, some ladies that are, let me just bring it to the material world, like materialistic things.
Every lady is materialistic.
Yes. Now, you are in a relationship, you've seen this guy and you like him. And now, he's an earner. Like, he earns salary. So he doesn't have a business where he's, making profits that he can. So, that person will always have plans on how he will spend his money.
True.
So then you come to a point, and if you have chosen to be in that relationship, then you also know that you have to cut down your needs.
Wow.
To meet what is there. Then if you feel like, okay, I can't bring down this, then I shouldn't be there.
Okay.
Anyway, actually. So,
Ma, what do you have to say, please?
Well, yes, I would say bringing in past experiences.
Okay.
When you bring in your current relationship, past experiences that you have not healed from, then you will, of
it
course,
will cause communication struggle.
Yeah, it will cause communication
What else?
struggles, and also fear of rejection, for example. If you have fear of rejection, the Bible says that the fear of a man is a trap, right? So if you fear man, you will keep doing things maybe to please the person. As you keep pleasing the person, maybe you get married, yes, but will you be able to support it until death?
Yeah, okay.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that all?
Yeah, that's what I was
All right, guys. So we've actually come to the end of today's topic. We could actually go on and on and on. There are so many reasons as to why a man wants to speak to his friends aside you. You know, like Mr. Abraham said, most of the reason is you have created an imagery in your mind, you know, about this very particular person, and your man wouldn't want to disappoint you. You know, you don't want to keep up to the, you know, end of his own bargain, make himself look like a don, until when you now finally get married, you start seeing something else in the closet. All right, and so on. So basically, yeah, there are so many reasons to communication struggles, like they've pointed out, you know, fear of rejections, you know, he mentioned few, I don't know, there are so many of them, okay, but to mention but few. So it is actually possible to make your partner your friend. Mr. Abraham established something. Some people go into relationship with a mindset that, okay, it is what's it called, romantic base, so any other thing is not her problem, right? So it now makes it so that there's so much restrictions on what you tell this person or on how you see the person even. So it's very possible that we be with your friend, make your partner your friend. That way you can even fart in the front of your partner without anything happening. You get what I mean?
Yes, no.
Until we come your way next week, guys. Stay blessed, stay safe. A quick shout out to our production team. We have Monsieur Richard Yengal. We have Monsieur Christian Obanikwe, and so many others, and then Mr. Jerry Etonam. He's the producer for the Lifestyle Show. I want to say a very big thank you to you guys. Until we come your way next week, stay blessed, stay safe. Plenty love from me to you. Bye-bye.